What is going on, everybody? In today's video, we're going to be talking about when, why, and how to rebuild when you dump your bank on a high ticket item. Now, we're going to cover 4 different items in this video. They are going to be the Twisted Bow, the Scythe of Vitor, a Dragon Hunter crossbow, and a Dragon Hunter lance. Those are the 4 most viable items to commit to a rebuild with in old school RuneScape at the time of this video. Of course, there are other items that you could choose to rebuild with, but for this video, we're just going to stick to our 4 most viable choices that are going to make you the most money back in the least amount of time with the least amount of effort. Before we get into today's video, I want to thank the sponsor of this one, eWin Racing. eWin Racing sells awesome gaming chairs and gaming desks for the gamer in you or the gamer in your life that might be looking for an awesome gift. So their chairs are absolutely awesome. I've had mine for 9 months now. No creases in the upholstery. It is still as comfortable as ever. I love the memory foam seat. I love the reclining feature. I fall asleep in this chair all the time when I'm working late, whether it be on my t-shirt business or making YouTube videos for RuneScape. This chair is so comfortable, I take it everywhere with me. I take it to the dinner table, outside while I'm playing with my dogs, in the living room to watch TV with my wife.
Can you come sit with me?
Absolutely not.
Out to the garage to watch TV after my wife gets mad at me because I won't sit with her.
Where's my chair? Really?
I told you to get me one.
Okay, maybe not everywhere, but everywhere around my house. Definitely true. I do tote this thing around. So if you like what you see and you would like to check out more eWin racing chairs and gaming desks, they have a bunch of different varieties and a bunch of choices that you can choose from to make sure you get the chair that fits your gaming experience. Check out the links in the description below. Make sure you use code AsukaYen at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase. If you do end up getting a chair or desk, let me know in the comments below. I would love to know what you think about it. So if you are thinking about dumping your bank for a high ticket item, you're going to need to know when to do it. So there's a lot of different variations that can go in this, but to keep the video as short as it can be with still giving you the most information, the when is not so much right when you get the amount of money that you need for this item or the amount of money plus items that you can sell, but it's actually the key to wait a little bit longer. So you don't want to get a Dragon Hunter crossbow, for example, which at the time of this video is about 84.5 mil on the Grand Exchange. So you don't want to save up and be like, oh my god, my bank is worth 85 mil right now, I can finally get a Dragon Hunter crossbow. You don't want to do that, because after you buy it, you're only left with 500k if you happen to get it at the actively traded price, which more often than not, that doesn't really happen. You end up paying a little bit more. So you want to save some money over this so you can get back to what you're doing with at least semi-viable gear. Now, something like the Dragon Hunter crossbow or the Twisted Bow in this instance, you don't want to dump and have no money left. You kind of want to save a little bit over that. I mean, let's face it, you've already saved millions for this item, so why not save about 15 or 20 mil more to make sure that you still have some decent gear and definitely enough to fund your endeavors to do this. Now, what I'm talking about here is peripheral gear. So if you get a Twisted Bow, you can immediately go to Zulrah and just Twisted Bow camp it, and it's super easy. But for doing that, you're going to want to have something like a set of Blessed D-Hides. You'll also want to have a Necklace of Anguish. So those are going to help your accuracy and your overall DPS. You don't want to be left with nothing, otherwise your rebuild is going to be a lot slower than it could be. So does it have to be 15 to 20 mil over the price of this item? No, it doesn't. It could be less, depending on what item you're going for and what activity you're planning to make your money back. But I would honestly lean closer to the 20 mil side. That way you can afford that Necklace of Anguish for the DPS increase and the accuracy increase, and also that set of Blessed D-Hides. Anything that's going to help you make that money back is definitely going to be your friend. Our next question we want answered is why? Why do we want to dump our bank for a big ticket item and not just save a whole bunch of money for it? Well, the answer is really quite simple. In old school RuneScape, and it's been like this forever, you have to spend money to make money. If you sit around just kind of twiddling your thumbs and doing everything the really slow way with your mediocre weapons while you just, save and save and save, it's going to take you so long to get that item. But if you take your items and then dump them for, let's say again, a Dragon Hunter crossbow, that Dragon Hunter crossbow is going to make you money back a whole lot faster than you would make money saving for it if you're just using something like an Armadillo crossbow or a Dragon crossbow. You have to think about the mechanics of the game and the DPS boost that this Dragon Hunter crossbow gives you over those other crossbows, especially at the Brutal Black Dragons. You're looking at a huge accuracy and damage increase, which is essentially saying you're going to make X amount of GP this percentage faster. And I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. I think it's 20% accuracy and damage increase. And when you top that off with something like Void, it's going to go even higher. So you're going to make that money back that much percent faster. So you always have to consider the game mechanics behind what you're doing, not just go out on a whim and do something. So the last question we need answered is, how should we rebuild? Well, you just bought a big ticket item and PVM is going to be your answer. Obviously, it's always PVM. So we'll start out with the Twisted Bow. How you're going to rebuild with this? Well, one option is Zulrah. Zulrah becomes way easier once you get a Twisted Bow because you don't have to worry about gear changing. All you have to worry about is avoiding the clouds and getting to your next location so you don't take a ton of damage from whatever else Zulrah throws at you. Assuming you're pretty decent at Zulrah, you can see around 25 kills per hour and you're going to profit 3 to 3.2 mil. Our next one is the Brutal Black Dragons. The Twisted Bow actually is the best in slot there because they have an extremely high magic level. You will need 77 Slayer for the Brutal Black Dragons, but you can see 65 kills an hour or actually more depending on how good you are and how much you pay attention, 1.5 to 1.6 mil per hour at 65 kills. SARADOMIN God Wars Dungeon is another option. I mean, there's times where you can just 5 or 6 hit Zilyana and the kill is over. 2.8 mil an hour at 20 kills. Now that 2.8 mil does include the drop rates of the hilt and the Armadillo crossbow, so you might have to stay there for a while, but it will average out eventually. The next one is the Alchemical HYDRA with 95 plus Slayer and a Slayer task. You got to be on a Slayer task to get the HYDRA, so if you've saved up or have a bunch of Slayer points, you can just Konar skip to get Alchemical HYDRA after you dump for your T-Bow. You're looking at around 25 kills per hour, assuming you're okay with it. 4.2 to 4.4 mil per hour profit. Very good for the Twisted Bow rebuild. The next one, which you might not have expected, is the Giant Mole, and you want to have the Falador Hard Diaries done for this. So the shield will tell you where the mole burrows to, you can go find it, and it's really not that bad. You can get around 60 kills per hour with a Twisted Bow there, 1.3 to 1.5 mil per hour profit. Our next one is the Dragon Hunter crossbow, a whole lot cheaper than a Twisted Bow, but can still pull in a great amount of money. Brutal Black Dragons, just like with a Twisted Bow, the next best in slot is going to be the Dragon Hunter crossbow. Again, you'll need 77 Slayer for this. You're looking at around 55 kills per hour with the Dragon Hunter crossbow in a Void setup, 1.3 to 1.4 million GP per hour profit. The next one, Vorkath. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows Vorkath with the Dragon Hunter crossbow is great. It's super lazy, well, when it comes to Vorkath anyways. A lot lazier than the Lance, but a little bit less kills per hour. You will need to have Dragon Slayer 2 completed to kill Vorkath after the quest for tons of loot. You're looking at 3.5 to 3.7 mil per hour profit at 26 kills per hour. The next one is going to be Skeletal Wyverns, and these are super AFK, like completely AFK. You just click on one, kill it, walk away for 30 seconds, come back, and there's your loot. Now, 72 Slayer is required to kill the Skeletal Wyverns, but hey, that's really easy to get. With the Dragon Hunter crossbow, you can see 1.2 to 1.4 million GP per hour, completely AFK at 70 kills per hour. Next up, we will check out the Dragon Hunter Lance. So the Dragon Hunter Lance is a really awesome weapon for anything Dragonkin or Dragon based. Your first option is going to be Rune Dragons with the completion of Dragon Slayer 2. Even with mediocre gear, just like Barrow's gear and Amulet of Fury, you can still see somewhere around 45 kills per hour, and with that you're pulling in 1.3 to 1.5 million GP profit every hour. Next up is Vorkath. Again, Vorkath with the Dragon Hunter Lance is a little bit faster if you got the Wooks Walks down, and you do have to have Dragon Slayer 2. I just feel like I gotta throw that in there every time for anybody that misses it. But with the Lance, you can expect around 30 kills per hour once you get some good mechanics in there, 4.1 to 4.3 million GP profit per hour. And your last option here is the alchemical HYDRA. I threw this in here because some people do like to do the HYDRA with the lance, and it is doable, and you will have to have, again, 95 Slayer plus be on a HYDRA task to do it, but you can get around 21 kills per hour if you're decent at the HYDRA with the Dragon Hunter Lance, 3.6 to 3.8 million GP profit per hour. Our last one is the Scythe of Vitor, and this one is actually a little tricky. The Scythe of Vitor is extremely expensive to use because you need vials of blood as well as 3 blood runes for every scythe charge that you use. So the cost does add up, so you're not going to want to do this just anywhere. You're not going to want to go to like the Grotesque Guardians to try to rebuild if you have a Slayer task there, or really anywhere else that the scythe is actually really good, because you need to make that money back to cover both the cost of using the scythe as well as making yourself profit to get your bank back. So really the only 2 options you have for this, if you're going to do a scythe rebuild, is probably going to be 1, the Chambers of Xeric. Now if you can solo, you're looking at 2 completed raids per hour. It's around 30 minutes a raid, and you're going to see 2 to 2.1 mil profit per hour in the long run. So for the Scythe of Vitor, you're probably going to want to have a little bit more overhead if you do dump your bank for one of these. So you want to have somewhat decent gear to go along with the scythe to push you through those raids faster. The next one is the Theater of Blood. Now the Theater of Blood calculations here are assuming a 4-man squad with no deaths. So the Theater of Blood, still amazing money per hour. With a 4-man squad, no deaths, and a decent team, you can easily get 2 completed raids, if not 3, if you're really good and your team is really good. But at 2 completed raids per hour, you're still seeing 3.5 to 3.7 million profit per hour. So if you do have a Scythe of Vitor, I would suggest learning to do the Theater of Blood if you have just dumped your bank for it, because that is going to be your moneymaker. That's where you're going to cover the cost of using the scythe as well as get all your gear back. Now, there are other monsters around the world of Gielinor that you can do rebuilds with. These are just a few of them, and these are what I would personally do or look at doing if I was in this position where I had to dump my bank or wanted to dump my bank to get one of these high ticket items. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope that if you were on the fence about dumping your bank for an item, I hope this video has given you some insight on how to tackle the task of dumping for an item and then rebuilding your bank to be bigger and better than it was before. As always, guys, thank you for watching this video, and remember, if you're interested in grabbing yourself an eWin Racing gaming chair or gaming desk, check out the links in the description below. Make sure to use code AsukaYen for 20% off your entire purchase. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.